Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmaswarupine avatara varishthaya Ramakrishnaya te namaha. Jananeem Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayusritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu. Namasri Atirajaya Vivekananda Suri Satchitsukasvarupaya Swamine Tapakarni. So, Master Misha is asking a very wonderful question to Sri Ramakrishna. Why should God make us run about? सबकिछु यदि भगवान यदि होय, भगवान कृपा, it's all due to God. Then He can make it easy for us. Why should He make us run around? Why should He make us suffer? It's a very nice question. Then Sri Ramakrishna says, it is His will that we should run about a little. Then it is great fun. God has created the world in play as it were. This is called Mahamaya, the great illusion. Therefore, one must take refuge in the Divine Mother, the cosmic power itself. It is she who has bound us with the shackles of illusion. The relation of God is possible only when those shackles are served. So, there are so many different views of the world, about creation, etc. One view which Sri Ramakrishna often quotes is, the world, it's all God's play. See, the point is, supposing there is a drama and there is a villain, there's a good man, somebody is stealing, somebody is being killed, somebody is being burnt in fire and so on. All those things are happening. But because you are not part of it, you are sitting outside and you are enjoying it beautifully. Baba, see Sundar, how beautifully they played the part of thief. How beautifully he played the part of the killer. Also we say, somebody who is killing, we say, how wonderfully he played that part, is it not? But if you are part of the drama, you cannot say that, then the drama will not happen. In drama, should be really participating, should really suffer, should really show that you are pain, really show that it is extremely painful. Then only the drama can go on. So, as long as we are part of the drama, as long as we are involved in it, as long as we take part in it, we have to suffer, we have to laugh, we have to celebrate, we have to have it. But the moment you come out of the drama, you learn to look at the whole thing like that, and it's all a play only. What is suffering? What is birth? What is death? It's all just, somewhere Shyamakshema says, Dhum correct shabda holo, Ravan janma. Dhum correct shabda holo, Ravan died. So what does all this mean? So, if you take all this seriously, participate, get involved, then there'll be suffering, then there'll be all that. But if you can withdraw yourself, move out of it, then the whole thing becomes a play. So for God, it's like or watching a play, or watching a yatra, or watching like something. He's a wonderful, wonderful director, wonderful, he can create. He's a creative artist. In so many ways he creates. He creates the Mahamari, he creates tsunami, he creates the coronavirus. It's all a different place. But because we are actors in it, we suffer, we think we are all that. Because, of course, the great dramatist Shakespeare, he was not a jnani or anything, but he made a very beautiful statement. No, the world is a great play and we are all actors in it, he says. Exactly the very same idea which Sri Ramakrishna says. It's what Shakespeare also said. So, that's it. If you think it is so, we are gone. But then what is the redemption? This is another beautiful song of Ramprasad Swami. Sri Ramakrishna always was fond of singing. Shyama ma udache ghudi. Mother, you are flying the kites. So she always keeps the twine in her hand. Sometimes she allows them to go up, then she pulls them down. So it's all his play. So lokke ak dutta ghudi kate. One or two in a million, the twine is cut off and then it goes into freedom, never to come back. But the play or the fun is as long as the mother has all those twines in her hand, the the rope or the thread. She keeps them flying up and down. She makes them go up and down. It's great fun. So when one rail goes, then mother claps her hands and she enjoys that fun. So like that, if you want to really get out of it, it's only when those shackles are removed, when you really, surrender, when you pray to the Divine Mother, then you understand the nature of this world, its existence, and it's possible to get out of it also. The Master continued, one must propitiate the Divine Mother, the primal energy, in order to obtain God's grace. God Himself is Mahamaya, who deludes the world with her illusion and conjures up the magic of creation, preservation, and destruction. It's all magic. She has spread this veil of ignorance before our eyes. We can go into the inner chamber. Only she lets us pass through the door. Living outside, we see only the outer objects, but not that eternal being, existence, knowledge, bliss, absolute. Therefore, it is stated in the Purana that deities like Brahma praised Mahamaya for the destruction of the demons, Madhu and Kaitaba. Shakti alone is the root of the universe. The primal energy has two aspects, Vidya and Avidya. Avidya deludes, Avidya conjures up woman and gold, casts a spell. Vidya begets devotion, kindness, wisdom, and love, which lead one to God. As Avidya must be propitiated, and that is the purpose of the rites of Shakti worship. The Shakti one is regarded as a representation of the Divine Mother, Durga or Kali or Jagaddatri or even other pujas. So, unless the mothers, like here it calls us two types of Vidya. One is Vidya and Avidya, two types of primal energy. Avidya brings all knowledge, bondage, etc., etc. Vidya brings liberation. Of course, the Upanishad also, as I told you, Vidya, they talk of two types of Vidya. One is Paravidya and is Aparavidya. Aparavidya is all that world. In fact, it puts it even in a finer language. Here it clearly says Avidya is something which binds. It says all that is accepting the knowledge of Brahman, the whole thing he has put as Aparavidya. In that all your science, maths, creation, your tech, all that come under the Aparavidya only. But what is Paravidya? Savidya vimukte, that knowledge which liberates, that which gives you the ultimate freedom. The worship of Shakti, the devotee assumes various attitudes for Shakti in order to propitiate her. The attitude of a handsmaid, a hero, or a child. A hero's attitude is to please her, even as a man pleases a woman through that relationship. The worship of Shakti is extremely difficult. It is no joke. I passed 2 years as the handmaid and the companion of Divine Mother. But my natural attitude has always been that I am a child towards his mother. I regard the breasts of any woman as those of my own mother. So Thakur always, that pure attitude, the attitude of a pure child towards his mother. Women are all of them the veritable images of Shakti. In Northwest, women, the bride holds a knife in her hand at the time of marriage. In Bengal, a nut cutter. The meaning is that the bridegroom, with the help of the bride, who is the embodiment of the Divine Mother, will serve the bondage, will sever the bondage of illusion. This is the heroic attitude. I never worship the Divine Mother that way. My attitude towards her is that of a child towards his mother. See, they do it in Bengal. They give a nut cutter at the time of marriage. Supari cutter at the jantra. বিয়ের সময়
হ্যাঁ মনে জাতি থাকে ওই সুপুরি কাটার
থাকে
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
The bride is a very embodiment of Shakti. Haven't you noticed that marriage ceremony, how the groom sits behind like an idiot, but the bride, she is so bold. After attaining God, one forgets his external splendor, the glories of his creation. One doesn't think of God's glories after one has seen Him. The devotee, once immersed in God's bliss, doesn't calculate anymore about outer things. When I see Narendra, I don't need to ask him, what is your name? Where do you live? What is the time for such questions? Once a man asked Hanuman which day of the fortnight it was. Brother, said Hanuman, I don't know anything of the day of the week or the fortnight or the position of the stars. I think of Rama alone. So, once you know God, and you are no longer bothered by the attributes of His gunas, etc. His very presence, His very sanidhya brings you so much of joy. It was Monday, a few days before Durga Puja, the festival of the Divine Mother. Sri Ramakrishna was in a very happy state of mind when Narendra was with him. Whenever Narendra comes, Thakur becomes very, very happy. Narendra had brought 2 or 3 young members of the Brahma Samaj to the temple garden. Besides these, Rakhal, Ramlal, Hajra, and Yam were with the master. Narendra had his midday meal with Sri Ramakrishna. Afterwards, a temporary bed was made on the floor of the master's room so that the disciples might rest a while. A mat was spread, on which was placed a quilt covered with a white sheet. A few cushions and pillows completed the simple bed. Like a child, master sat near Narendranath on the bed. He talked with the devotees in great delight, with a radiant smile lighting his face, and his eyes fixed on Narendra, was giving them various spiritual teachings. Interspersing these with incidents from his own life. Master, after I had experienced Samadhi, my mind craved intensely to hear only about God. Somewhat Lord Thakur says also in the Shat Chakra, when it goes to Vishuddha, the Kanta, then afterwards, the Jivatma does not feel like hearing anything else. Only about God, God's glories. The other things it cannot bear. It walks away from its place, even if it is told. I would always search for places where they were reciting or explaining the sacred books, such as Bhagavata, the Mahabharata, and the Adhyatma Ramayana. I used to go to Krishna Kishore to hear him read the Adhyatma Ramayana. What tremendous faith Krishna Kishore had. Once, while at Vrindavan, he felt thirsty and went to a well. Near it, he saw a man standing. On being asked to draw a little water from him, the man said, I belong to a low caste. Sir, you are a Brahmin. How can I draw water for you? Krishna Kishore said, take the name of Shiva. By repeating his holy name, you will make yourself pure. Low caste man did as he told. And Krishna Kumar, the broad orthodox Brahmin he was, drank that water. What tremendous faith. Once a holy man came to the bank of the Ganges and lived near the bathing ghat at Aridaha, not far from Dakshineshwar. We thought of paying him a visit. I said to Haridhari, Krishna Kishore and I are going to see a holy man. Will you come with us? Haridhari replied, what is the use of seeing a mere human body? It's no better than a cage of clay. Matir, Pinjar. Haridhari was a student of the Gita and Vedanta and therefore referred to the holy man as a mere cage of clay. I repeated to Krishna Kumar, what great anger is that? How impudent of Haridhari to make such a remark? How can he ridicule a cage of holy clay? The body of a man constantly thinks of God, who meditates on Rama and renounced all for the sake of the Lord. Doesn't he know that such a man is the embodiment of spirit? He was so upset by Haridhari's remark that he turned his face away from him whenever he met him in the temple and stopped speaking to him. Once Krishna Kishore asked me, why have you cast off the sacred thread? In those days of God vision, I felt as if I were passing through the great storm of Ashwin. I think it happened in 1864. He was young. Even Master Maharshi, I remembered later when he met Ramakrishna, and he somehow remembered at that time, it was a tremendous storm. It was very frightening. Master Maharshi was a small boy. Somehow he felt that at that time he had a kind of, vision of Thakur or something, and later on he somehow recalled it. Everything had been blown away from me. No trace of my old self was left. I lost all consciousness of the world. I could hardly keep my cloth on my body, not to speak of my secret thread. Secret thread to दूरी बात है, कपड़े रख नहीं पाते. Even he could not keep his cloth. Cloth, secret, all that. What do all this mean? They all mean a kind of bandhan or a bondage. What is the secret thread? It's the bandhan that I am a Brahmin. I belong to a superior caste. That's the main meaning of that. I am different from others. So a person who has realized God can no longer feel that way. Because we are all either God's children. We are all God's creation. What is there high and low? Similarly, the idea of cloth, that means, is to distinguish us from others, to protect us. I am a man, I am a grown-up person. So Thakur always says, no lajja, grina, bhai, teen taktani. Should not have all this hatred, fear, or sense of shame. Because to feel that oneself is a body or a mind is a limitation. If one is one with God, one has realized God, or gone beyond the idea of body and mind, no longer cloth is necessary. That's why trailing Swami always used to remain Digambar without any cloth. And I said to Krishna, you will understand. If you ever happen to be intoxicated with God as I was, because Krishna thought you are a Brahmin, why are you not wearing the secret thread? He said, no, if you come to my stage, you'll understand what it is. And it actually came to pass. He too passed through a God intoxicated state. When you repeat only the word Om and shut himself up alone in his room, his relatives thought he was actually mad and called in a physician. Ram Kaviraj of Natagore came to see him. Krishna Kumar said to the physician, cure me, sir, of a malady, if you please, but not of my Om. Amar, you cure me of illness, but don't take away my Om. In that state of, one day I went to see him and found him in a pensive mood. When I asked him about it, he said the tax collector was here. He threatened to dispose of my brass pots, my cups, and a few utensils if I didn't pay the tax. So I'm worried. I said, why should he be worried? Let him take away your pots and pans. Let him arrest your body even. How will that affect you? For your nature is that of Kha. Narendra and others laughed. Because he used to say to me that he was a spirit all pervading as the sky. He got that idea from Adhyatma Ramayana. I used to tease him now and then, addressing him as Kha. Therefore I said to him with a smile, your Kha, taxes cannot move you. So, everything is okay. The moment anything comes, then only where is our real devotion, where is our feeling for God, all that will happen only when, suppose you call me and don't treat me properly, all my devotion will take to wings. They called, they did not even show respect, they didn't treat me properly, they didn't feed, this, that, all kinds of complaints will start coming. In that state of God consciousness, I used to speak out my mind to all. I was no respecter of persons. Even to men of position, I was not afraid to speak the truth. Because, in that state, there is no, we feel somebody is like that, but out of fear, out of feeling of this thing, we don't speak the truth. But a person who is one with God does not care. One day, Jatindra came to me. I think it's Jatindra Tagore. I was there I asked him, what is the duty of man? Isn't our duty to think of God? There isn't the reply, we are worldly people. How is it possible for us to achieve liberation? Even King Yudhishthira had to have a vision of hell. This made me very angry. I said to him, what sort of man you are? Of all the incidents of Yudhishthira's life, you remember only seeing the hell. You don't remember his truthfulness, his forbearance, his patience, his discrimination, his dispassion, his devotion to God. I was about to say many more things when Hriday stopped my mouth. After a little while, Jatindra left the place, saying he had some other business to attend to. See, in Mahabharata, it said that because although Yudhishthira was such a man of truth, once, it said in the Yuddha, he said, Ashwatthama Atakunjara had to kill Dronacharya. Seems he made a small deviation. So he also had to see hell for a second. So Jatindra is quoting that. Yudhishthira had to see the hell. We are householders. How can we live here? Thakur gave him nicely. You don't remember other things in his life. Only this you remember about Yudhishthira. What a man you are. Many days later, I went with captain to see Raja Saurendra Tagore. As soon as I met him, I said, I can't address you as Raja or by any such title, for I shall be telling a lie. Who is a Raja? Who is a real king? Who has conquered his passions, his desires. Huh? Here is a man who was immersed in worldliness. How can he call him as Raja? He talked to me a few minutes, but even so, our conversation interrupted by the frequent visits of Europeans and others. A man of rajasic temperament, Surendra was naturally busy with many things. Jatindra, his eldest brother, had been told of my coming, but he sent word that he had pain in his throat and could not go out. Because he had heard once, told him, scolded him, so he simply sent the excuse that he is not well. One day, in the state of intoxication, I went to the bathing ghat on the Ganges at Baranagar. There I saw Jaya Mukherjee repeating the name of God, but his mind was something else. I went up and slapped him twice on the cheeks. At one time, Rani Rasmani was staying in the temple. She came to the shrine of the Divine Mother, as she frequently did when I worshipped Kali, and asked me to sing a song or two. On this occasion, while I was singing, I noticed she was sorting the flowers for worship absent-mindedly. At once I slapped her on the cheeks. She became quite embarrassed and sat there with folded hands. All Karmacharis rushed. They wanted to attack even Sri Ramakrishna because their Malkin was slapped. How can they tolerate? But she said, no, no, no. Because she knew that because her mind was wandering somewhere, Thakur had taught her a lesson by slapping her. So she was not upset. But the Kamcharis would naturally be upset, They are different. Alarmed at the state of mind myself, I said to my cousin Haladari, just see my nature. How can I get rid of it? After praying to the Divine Mother for some time with great earning, I was able to shake off this habit. So again, he prayed to Mother. So this habit of, being so straightforward and being, intolerant to anything, deviation, let them go. He prayed and he managed. When one gets into such a state of mind, one does not enjoy any conversation but that about God. I used to weep when I heard people talk about worldly matters. When I accompanied Mathur Babu in a pilgrimage, he spent a few days in Benares at Raja Babu's house. One day I was sitting in the drawing room with Mathur Babu, Raja Babu and others, hearing them talk about various worldly things such as their business losses and so on. I wept bitterly and said to Mother, Ma, where have you brought me here? Brought me. Kotai Nihali. I was much better off in the temple garden. Here I am in a place and I was here about woman and gold. But the Lakshnishwar, I could avoid it. She said nobody could dare talk such things before Thakur, no? But here he was guest of somebody. The master asked the devotee, especially Narendra, to rest a while. And he himself lay down on the smaller couch. Late in the afternoon, Narendra sang, Rakhal, Latu, Hajra, and others were present. The singing was accompanied by the drum. Meditate, O mind, on Lord Hari, the stainless one, pure spirit through and through. Somebody's mic is on, please silence it. How peerless is the light that in him shines. How soul-stirring, how soul-bewitching is his wondrous form. How dear is he to all his devotees. After this song, Again, another Narendra sang 2, 3 songs. Now Narendra and the devotees began to sing Kirtan, accompanied by drum and cymbals. They moved round and round the master as they sang. Immerse yourself evermore, O mind, in him who is pure knowledge and pure bliss. Now they sang, when will dawn for me that day of blessedness? At last, Narendra himself was playing on the drums, and he sang with master, full of joy. With beaming face, chant the sweet name of God. When the music was over, Sri Ramakrishna held Narendra in his arms a long time and said, you have made us happy, so happy today. The floodgate of Master's heart was opened so wide that night that he could hardly contain himself for joy. It was 8 o'clock in the evening. Intoxicated with the divine love, he paced the long veranda of his room. Now and then he could be heard talking to the Divine Mother. Suddenly he said in an excited voice, what can you do to me? Was the Master hinting that Maya was helpless before him, since he had the Divine Mother for his support? I don't know. See, sometimes, later on, Latu Maharaj was also seen at night. Suddenly he'll get up, assume a very heroic posture. You cannot do anything to me, like they would say. Maybe some Narendra, M and P were going to spend the night at the temple. This pleased the master highly, since Narendra would be with him. The Holy Mother was in the Narabad, had prepared the supper. Surendra bore the greater part of the master's expenses. The meal was ready and the plates were set out in the southeast veranda of the master's room. Near the east door of his room, Narendra and other devotees were gossiping. Narendra, how do you find the young men nowadays? Yam, they are not bad, but they don't receive any religious instruction. Narendra, but from my experience, I feel they are going to the dogs. They smoke cigarettes, indulge in frivolous talk, enjoy foppishness, play truant, and do everything of that sort. I haven't seen them visiting questionable places. I didn't notice such things during our student days. Narendra, perhaps you didn't mix with the students intimately. I haven't seen them talking with people in moral character. Perhaps they are on terms of intimacy with them. It is strange indeed. Narendra, I know that many of them form bad habits. Be proper if the guardians and the authorities kept close eyes. They were talking thus when Sri Ramakrishna came and asked them, what are you talking about? Narendra, I've been asking him about boys in the schools. Master became grave and said to him rather seriously, this kind of conversation is not good. It isn't desirable to indulge in any talk but talk of God. You are their senior and you are intelligent. You should not have encouraged them to talk about such matters. See, imagine, one day they were just for a few minutes. Before that also they were singing and dancing and all that. Just for a few minutes, Narendra is not saying anything bad about students, how they are behaving nowadays and so on. But immediately Swami comes and scolds, Master Moshe, you are an elderly person. You should not have indulged in such talks. Narendra was then, as imagine what Thakur would say if he finds us. Narendra was then about 19 years old and Yam about 28. Thus admonished, Yam felt embarrassed and then others also felt silent. When the devotees were enjoying their meal, Sri Ramakrishna stood by and watched them with intense delight. That night, the master's joy was very great. After supper, the devotees rested on the mat spread on the floor of the room. They began to talk with him. It was indeed a mart of joy. The master asked Narendra to sing the song beginning with the line, in wisdom's firmament, the moon of love is rising full. I think it is Koto Chandu Techana Kesam. Sri Ramakrishna sang and danced, and the devotees danced around him. When the song was over, the master walked up and down the northeast veranda where Hajra was seated with Yam. The master sat down there. He asked a devotee, do you ever have dreams? So you see, imagine how it was. Day and night, nothing but that kind of intoxication. No rest. I think whole night he wouldn't allow them to sleep. Every 2 minutes he would come and say, are you sleeping? How can anyone sleep if you come and ask every 2 minutes, are you sleeping? So no question of sleep. That is why they wouldn't come every day, no? So they would come only on holidays. So Thakur is asked a devotee, Miss Master Mashai, do you ever have dreams? Yes, sir. The other day I dreamt a strange dream. I saw the whole world enveloped in water. There was water on all sides. A few boats were visible, but suddenly huge waves appeared and sank them. I was about to board a ship with a few others when I saw a Brahmin walking over the expanse of water. I asked him, how can you walk over the deep? The Brahmin said with a smile, oh, there is no difficulty about that. There's a bridge under the water. I said to him, where are you going? To Bhavanipur, the city of the Divine Mother. He replied, wait a little. I cried, I shall accompany. Oh, I am thrilled to hear the story. Devotee, the Brahmin said in a hurry, it will take you some time to get out of that boat. Goodbye. Remember this path and come after me. Oh, my hair is standing on end. Please be initiated as a Guru as soon as possible. This is a very important dream. They're all already in the mood to go for puja. Next month we'll take it up. This requires a deep understanding. It's a very important dream where Master Moshe saw that the person is actually Master Moshe, and then the other Brahmin probably represents Ramakrishna. How he is showing the path to Master Moshe is described in this dream. He will take it up next time. Huh?
Thank you, Maharaj. This dream,
Yes.
yes,
Anything?
got reminded of this dream. When I was reading, it did not make any sense to me, and then I happily forgot. And now I
Yeah.
was thinking, that, oh my God, you've reached this dream at this point at the end of the class. So it's nice that we will start the next class with this dream.
Yeah.
So,
A very,
okay.
very important dream which Master Moshe had. So we will take it up next week. Next month.
Yes,
Okay.
Maharaj. Thank you, Maharaj.
Om. Yes. Om
Thank you
Shanti
for
Shanti
accommodating.
Shanti. Yes. Harihi Om Tatsat. Shri Ram Krishna Pranasti. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
Pranam Maharaj. Please accept our revered
Namaskar.
pranams.